Welcome to the Calvary Hour. I'm Father Peter File, your host for the next hour, where we rejoice in the suffering of Christ on the cross. As you know, the Catholic Church is reeling from some recent troubles, and we need a lot of cash quick. So in the lobby after today's Mass, you're going to find a new Calvary t-shirt. What is the Calvary t-shirt? Why? I'm wearing it right now. That's right, Father Pete is wearing the Calvary t-shirt. Now you might say, Father, what's so Calvary about that? Well, let me tell you, right now, in the light of day, you can't see anything. But at night, in the dark room, when you walk in Dayglow letters will be the word Calvary across your chest. In the daytime, you're anonymous. You're just wearing a black shirt, you're very hip. But at night, you show your true colors when you see Calvary. It'll light up in colors of red, pink, purple, blue, and green. We're also working on the rainbow colors for the gay among us. Now, how much is this t-shirt? Well, how much are you willing to pay? But seriously, $25. So, pick them up. It's not mandatory, but it sure would help. Now, if I could just move on to some other aspects. There's going to be a bake sale after church also. Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Jones have baked wonderful apple pies and key lime pies. So please, pick one up or perhaps two. Buy one for your neighbor. Any pie for under $5. That's our slogan. Any pie under $5. Now, if I can just move on to some weighty subjects. My weight, those pies, Mrs. Smith. As we do here every Sunday at Calvary Hour, we rejoice in the suffering of Christ as he died on the cross. For it is here where we have gained our redemption and have bought everlasting life. And speaking of buying, also next week there'll be a pancake breakfast at 5 o'clock held in the gymnasium. Please come on by and bring the kids. It promises to be a good time. I've suffered. Yes, Father Pete. Not only have I suffered, I've cried. I've cried like a baby. I've cried like a girl. I've cried wearing diapers. But let me just say, Christ never cried. Christ had the balls. Christ had the toughness to go on. He didn't need any excuses. He didn't need Dr. Phil. He didn't need Oprah. All he needed was a cross, some nails, and a very angry dictator. Of course, a Judas. Now you're thinking, where are you going with this, Father? I'm thinking, I don't know. But let me just say this to all you who have accused out there. I never touched them. Just took pictures. Yes, I know suffering. I know the suffering of Christ. I've had more pain than I can say. I know suffering. It's got me so worried, I can't even think. I'm confused. Let's start, first of all, with why he suffered. As I like to say, he suffered for me. But he suffered for all of us. Now, some of us don't get that and don't believe it, which leaves them out. What do I mean by out? Well, they're not going to heaven. You're probably saying right now, but Father Pete, didn't Christ die for all of our sins? And I'd have to say, why, yes, he did. He did die for all of our sins. But all means everybody. Everybody who's Catholic. Because as I said before, if you don't accept Christ, Christ isn't going to accept you. So, who did Christ die for? He died for Catholics. Let me explain it this way. With Christ dying for you, you're half illuminated. But without accepting it, you're half in the dark. Which means when you die, But if you accept that Christ died for our sins, then you're blinded by the light. When I see the shot, it reminds me of Brando. Remember that scene in the Apocalypse Now? The Long Island Catholic condemned it, but somebody's got to see it to make that judgment. So I went, and I've seen it a couple times. I got the new DVD, fantastic. The extra scenes really brings it down to, condemnation level. But remember this, when Brando said, the horror. Well, he's right, the horror. And what is that horror? The horror is living without Christ. And how can you live without Christ? I don't know. It's time we change, not we. I am changed. It's time you changed. It's time you took a serious look at your life and said, you know what, I got to get things together. I got to follow Christ. What does it mean to be a follower of Christ? It really doesn't take that much. Basically, you've got a Sunday commitment every week. Yes, every week. If your kids are born, there are some things you got to pay for. It's baptism, confirmation, and once we get that settled, you're on your own. With Christianity, what a lot of people really like about it is that you can pretty much do whatever you want and then ask for forgiveness later. And basically, you're absolved. You come to me, Father Pete. As long as you go confess and are truly sorry, blah, 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 you too can enter the kingdom of heaven with me, Father Pete O'Files. So right now you're probably saying, so Father Pete, you're saying I can continue to gamble, to drink, to cheat on my wife, to do felonious things, and still, if I go to confession and confess and feel truly sorry for my sins, blah, 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 that I too can go to heaven and sit at the right hand of God? Yeah. Seems absurd, doesn't it? But think of it. We promise everlasting life. Right now you're probably saying, Father, what's with the heavy symbolism? Well, I just wanted to put it in very dramatic terms. This is the bridge to death. On one side either lies heaven or hell. It's up to you to make the choice. Become a Catholic now. Heaven or hell? Heaven or hell? Heaven or hell?